Dear students, in today's class, let us discuss module 5 other motor concept, that is stepper motors. Okay, so let us see the description for stepper motors. Stepper motor is known by its important property to convert a train of input pulses, that is a square wave pulses, into precisely defined increment in the shaft position. So here this stepper motor is a digital compatible device where it is going to receive square input pulses via stepper motor driving circuit, and accordingly it is going to rotate the shaft of the stepper motor. Okay, each pulses moves the shaft through a fixed angle. So for every input pulse, the shaft of the stepper motor it is going to rotate by an fixed angle. So the stepper motor is an electromechanical device which actuates a train of step movements of the shaft in response to train of input pulses. So the stepper motor, it is a electromechanical device where electrical input is converted into mechanical output, that is rotation of the shaft, and it is going to follow input pulses, and accordingly it is going to rotate the shaft of the stepper motor. Okay, the step moment may be linear or angular. So the step moment may be angular or linear. There is one-to-one relationship between input pulse and the step moment of the shaft. So whenever we apply input pulse, then accordingly the shaft is going to rotate. So therefore it is having one-to-one relationship between input pulse and the step moment of the shaft. Each pulse input actuates one step moment of the shaft. So for every one input pulse, there is a moment of the shaft by certain angle, that we call it as step angle, which we get it for every one step moment. When a number of drive pulses are supplied to the motor, the shaft gets turned through known angle. So whenever we apply the input driving pulses, then the shaft it is going to rotate by some angle. That known angle is called as step angle. Okay, the angle through which the motor turns or shaft moves for each pulse is known as step angle expressed in degrees. So for every input pulse, it is the shaft of the rotor shaft of the stepper motor which is going to move or rotate, and that is called as step angle, and it is expressed in terms of degrees. Okay, as such angle is dependent on the number of input pulses, the motor is suitable for controlling position by controlling the number of input pulses. So here whenever we apply the or control the input pulses, accordingly the shaft of the stepper motor is moving. Because of this we can control the position of any object. So for this motor we can use it in position control system applications and all. Okay, such system used to control the position is called position control system. So in the applications like position control system and all, we can make use of stepper motor also. The average motor speed is proportional to the rate at which input pulse command is delivered. So here the average motor of the speed, it is also dependent upon how much amount of pulses we are going to apply. Okay, when the rate is low, the motor rotates in steps, but for the high rate of pulses, due to inertia, it rotates smoothly like DC motor. So if we apply the pulses at very low rate, then movement of the rotor will be in steps. If we apply the input pulses at high rate, and because of the inertia, then motor will rotate smoothly like DC motors. Due to this property, it is also used in speed control system. Because of this stepper motor can also be used in speed control systems. These motors are available in sub-fractional horsepower rating. So the rating of the stepper motors, they are available in sub-fractional HP ratings also. As the input command is in pulses, the stepper motor is compatible with modern digital equipment. So here input command is in terms of square wave pulses, and it is compatible with all the digital equipments like computers and all. So you can interface stepper motor with digital computers. Okay, due to its compatibility with digital equipments, its market is greatly increased in recent times. So because of its additional feature, like it can be made to become compatible with the digital equipments, its market is rising day by day. The stepper motors are widely used. So now let us see the applications where all you can make use of stepper motors. So stepper motors are widely used in XY plotters, floppy disk drives, machine tools, process control systems, robotics, printers, tape drives, and variety of other industrial applications. So these are all the applications where we are going to make use of stepper motor. That is in the case of XY plotters, floppy disk drives, machine tools, process control systems, robotics, printers, tape drives, and variety of other industrial applications. Apart from this, the very basic application is whatever the wrist watches we are using. Again, in the wrist watches also, we are going to have the stepper motors just to make the moment of minute, hand, hour, and all. There we have stepper motor for its moment. Okay, so this is all about the introduction to stepper motor. Okay, now let us see the different types of stepper motor. So in the examination, the question will be like, define stepper motor and explain any one stepper motor in detail. Means you can write the definition for stepper motor like it is a digital compatible device where it is going to receive square wave input pulse, and accordingly it is going to rotate by known step angle. So that might be the stepper motor definition. And if they ask to explain for any one of the stepper motor out of the three, that is variable reluctance stepper motor, permanent magnet stepper motor, or hybrid stepper motor, better you can explain for very basic type of stepper motor, that is variable reluctance stepper motor. Okay, or if they particularly ask for explain for variable only, or for permanent magnet only, or for hybrid stepper motor, then you should explain for that particular stepper motor only. Okay, now let us see the different types of stepper motor here. The stepper motors can be divided into three categories. First one, variable reluctance stepper motor. Second one, permanent magnet stepper motor. Third one, hybrid stepper motor. Okay, let us see the details of each. So now let us discuss the first type of stepper motor in this today's class, that is variable reluctance stepper motor. Variable reluctance stepper motor. Now let us see the in detail explanation for this. It is the most basic type of stepper motor. This helps to explain the principle of operation of stepper motor. So this is one of the basic type of stepper motor, and using this principle only we can explain for the remaining other two stepper motors also, that is permanent magnet and hybrid stepper motor. The motor has stator which is wound for three phases. So here this is the stepper motor stator poles which are having six salient poles having concentrated winding, and here the phases, they are not concerned with AC power supply. So here phase refers to phase A, phase B, phase C, and all these phases, they are excited or energized with the help of DC power supply. So try to understand, these are excited with DC power supply, and this phase, it is not similar with the single phase or three phase. So don't get confused. Okay, the motor has a stator which is usually wound for three phases. The motor has three phases, means one phase means A dash forms one phase, B dash forms other phase, C dash forms other phase. Altogether, these are the three phases of stepper motor. Okay, the stator has six salient poles. So this is the stator which is going to have six salient poles with concentrated exciting windings. And here all the concentrated exciting windings, they are wound on the salient poles of the stator. Okay, and the stator construction is laminated and assembled in a single stack. So just to avoid the losses or to reduce the losses, the stator is laminated and it is assembled is in a single stack. The number of poles on the stator and rotor are different. So the number of stator poles here, number of stator poles are 6 and number of rotor poles are 4 here. So always the number of stator poles should be different from the number of rotor poles. Okay, the number of poles on the stator and rotor are different. This gives the motor ability of, so if suppose ns is the number of stator poles and nr are the number of rotor poles, if both these should be different, that is ns should not be equal to nr. If both these are not equal, then it is going to give the additional feature like this, gives the motor ability of first one bidirection rotation. So motor can be rotated in both clockwise as well as anti-clockwise direction, and also it is going to provide self-starting capability. Okay, then the rotor is made out of slotted steel lamination. So this rotor, it is made up of slotted steel lamination. If the number of stator poles are ns, if number of stator poles are ns, and the number of rotor poles are nr, if number of rotor poles are nr, then for a three-phase motor, three phase means A dash forms one phase, B dash forms second phase, C dash forms third phase. So altogether, six stator poles means it is three-phase stator pole, three-phase stepper motor. So here three-phase means it is not 440 volts, 50 hertz. So it is completely different. So here three phases, they are excited with the help of DC power supply. Okay, if the number of stator poles are ns and the number of rotor poles are nr, then for a three-phase motor, that is phase are indicated by the letter q here. The rotor poles in terms of ns and q are given by. So if we know stator poles as 6 and number of phases as 3, then How to decide number of stator poles? So it is given by the formula number of rotor poles. How to decide number of rotor poles? Sorry. So therefore, number of rotor poles Nr is equal to Ns plus or minus Ns by Q, where Q refers to the number of phases here. So here in this case, Ns is 6 and Q number of phases are 3. So if you substitute, then the number of rotor poles 6 plus or minus 6 by 3, if you solve, you will be getting 8 or 4. Okay, but here we have taken for 6 stator poles, we have taken 4 rotor poles. Okay, either you can take 8 or 4, but for our explanation, we have taken 4 rotor poles. For our discussion, 4 pole rotor construction is selected. So rotor has 4 silent poles without any exciting winding as shown in figure 7.24.1. So this is figure 7.24.1, where it is having stator poles with concentrated winding, but whereas rotor it is free from the windings. Rotor is, it is not going to have any exciting winding. Okay. Then the coils wound around diametrically opposite poles are connected in series. So here in this case, the coils for phase A and A dash, they are connected diametrically, and that too in the series. And the three phases are energized from a DC source with the help of switches. And all these phases, they will be excited with the help of DC sources via the switches SW1, SW2, SW3. And altogether, this is the diagram for basic driving circuit shown in the figure 7.24.2. So figure 7.24.2 indicates the driving circuit for stepper motor. So here the winding, concentrated winding wound for phase A, it is wound in series diametrically with phase A dash, and this will be excited with the help of DC power supply by closing the switch SW1. Similarly, phase B and B dash, they are diametrically connected in series, and this will be excited by closing the switch SW2. Similarly, phase C and C dash, they are diametrically connected in series, and this will be excited by closing the switch SW3 from this DC power supply. So altogether, this is the driving circuit for stepper motor. Okay, figure 7.24.2 indicates driving circuit, where SW1, SW2, SW3 are the switches for energizing phase A, phase B, phase C. For phase A, close switch SW2. For phase B, closed switch SW. Sorry, for phase A, close switch SW1. For phase B, close switch SW2, and for phase C, close switch SW3. Okay. Now let us see the working. Okay, working of variable reluctance stepper motor. The operation is based on various reluctance positions of rotor with respect to the stator. So here, how it is going to work means, the operation is based on various reluctance positions of rotor with respect to the stator. Okay, with when any one of the phase of the stator is excited, it produces its magnetic field whose axis lies along the pole. So suppose if we excite phase A dash means by closing the switch SW1, then what happens? The phase around which is excited, it is going to have the magnetic field. So if I close switch SW1, then switch SW1 closing means we are going to give the power supply for phase A dash, and there only magnetic field will be created. Okay, wherever we close the switch for SW1, if we close, then magnetic field will be created along poles A dash, or pole A dash. Okay, and there only magnetic field is available, and that magnetic field, whatever it is available now, it is the minimum reluctance position. Okay, so that minimum reluctance position, it is going to be searched by the rotor, and there only the rotor is going to get aligned. So this is how the variable reluctance stepper motor will work. Then the rotor moves in such a direction so as to achieve minimum reluctance position. So here the minimum reluctance position is the position where magnetic field has been created. That is now the magnetic field, it has been created at position of pole A dash by closing the switch SW1. Okay, such a position means a position where axis of the magnetic field of stator matches with the axis passing through any two poles of the rotor. So here such a position means a position where axis of magnetic field of stator matches with the axis passing through the any two of the poles. So here, whichever the winding we have excited, there only magnetic field has been created for that particular stator pole, and that is the minimum reluctance position, and there only the rotor will go and go and get aligned. So that is the stator gets aligned with the rotor gets aligned with the stator position, and that is the uh, first position of rotor moment. Okay, let us see the operation when phases A, B, and C are energized in sequence one after the other. So now let us see the operation by closing the switch SW1, SW2, SW3. So by closing switch SW1, phase A gets excited, and after that open switch SW1, then close switch SW2, then phase B gets excited. After that open switch SW1, SW2, then close switch SW3, then phase C gets excited. So this is how we can apply the switching sequence, and we can observe the rotation of the stepper motor here. Okay, let us see the operation when phases A, B, and C are energized in sequence one after the other with the help of switches SW1, SW2, SW3. Okay, now first one, when the phase A dash is excited with the switch SW1 closed, then stator magnetic axis exits along the poles formed due to A dash, that is vertical. So suppose if we close switch SW1, then magnetic field will be created along the stator poles A dash. So this is the magnetic field it has been created, and this is the minimum reluctance position now. Okay, then the rotor adjusts itself in a minimum reluctance position. Then this rotor, it tries to adjust to the minimum reluctance position, where the minimum reluctance position is this one, where we have got by energizing the pole A dash by closing the switch SW1, and there only the minimum reluctance position exists, and rotor will try to adjust to that position. Okay, then rotor adjusts itself in a minimum reluctance position, that is matching its own axis passing through the two poles exactly with the stator magnetic axis. This is shown in the figure 7.24.3a. So figure 7.24.3a shows position of the rotor with respect to the stator with angle theta equal to 0 degree. Okay, by closing the switch SW1, by exciting poles A dash, where magnetic field has been created at poles A dash, and this is the minimum reluctance position, and because of this the rotor has been fixed or aligned along the stator pole A with making theta equal to 0 degree moment. Then let us see the next switching sequence now. When the phase B dash is excited with the switch SW2 closed, and phase A dash is de-energized with the switch SW1 open. So after the first sequence, now you energize phase B dash by closing switch SW2 and open the switch SW1 that is related to A dash. Because of that, A dash gets de-energized. Then now what happens? If switch SW2 is closed, means then B dash gets excited, and along B dash only magnetic field will be created, and that is the minimum reluctance position for the rotor now. Then the stator magnetic axis shifts along the poles formed due to B dash. So now earlier the magnetic field was along A dash, and after closing the switch SW2, then this is the poles belonging to B dash, and now the magnetic field will be created at this position. Okay, at this position. Because of this, now what is going to happen? The rotor point earlier, which was at this position P, now it is going to shift from this position to other position P now, for this position, by making theta equal to 30 degree in anti-clockwise direction. Then the rotor tries to align in the minimum reluctance position and turns 30 degree in anti-clockwise direction. So axis passing through two diagonally opposite poles of the rotor matches with the stator pole. So here stator magnetic axis. So here once again stator magnetic axis lies along poles B dash, that is the minimum reluctance position, and there only rotor will get aligned by making the moment theta equal to 30 degree. Okay, this is the new minimum reluctance position. The point P shown on the rotor has rotated 30 degree in anti-clockwise direction as shown in the figure 7.24.3b. So now this is the after applying power supply for the phase B, then this is the reluctance, what is magnetic axis poles, and this is the minimum reluctance position, and here only the rotor will rotate. Rotor will rotate by making theta equal to 30 degree in anti-clockwise direction. Earlier it was theta equal to 0 degree. This was the point P, and now this point P, it has been shifted to some angle, that is theta equal to 30 degree in anti-clockwise direction, and this is the new position of P or the rotor. Then let us see the next switching sequence. When the phase C dash is excited with the switch SW3 closed, and the phases A dash and B dash are de-energized. Then after that, what we are doing? Phase C dash is excited by closing switch SW3, and the phase A dash and B dash are de-energized. Then the stator magnetic axis shifts along the poles formed due to C dash. Now, since we have energized for the pole C dash by closing switch SW3, because of that, now magnetic axis will shift to the poles belonging to C dash as shown in the figure 7.24.c. So now by after applying the power supply to the pole C, then these are the poles belonging to C, here the magnetic axis will be available now, and this is the minimum reluctance position. And once again, rotor will position point P, it has been shifted to some degree, 30 degree further, and that too in the anti-clockwise direction. So altogether 30 plus 30 is once again 60-degree rotation we are going to get, that too in the anti-clockwise direction. Then to achieve minimum reluctance position, rotor gets subjected to further anti-clockwise torque, so it turns through further 30-degree anti-clockwise direction. Okay. Hence point P is now at 60-degree from its starting position. So it's from the starting position reference point 0 degree. Now it has been shifted to 60-degree from the starting position in anti-clockwise direction as shown in figure 7.24.3c. So now here you can observe here theta equal to 0 degree in figure 7.24.3 and theta equal to 30 degree in figure 7.24.3b, and similarly theta is equal to 60 degree, that too once again in the anti-clockwise direction in the figure 7.24.3 C. So this is for switch SW1 by energizing phase A, and this is by closing switch SW2 by energizing phase B B dash, and this is by closing switch SW3 by closing by energizing phase C C dash. So this is how the rotor of the stepper motor is going to rotate by step angle 30 degree for every pulse here. 0, 30 degree, 30 plus 30, 60 degree. Okay. By successively exciting the three phases in the specific sequence, the motor takes 12 steps to complete one revolution. So here for one input pulse, the rotation is 30 degree, and for one revolution, we want 360. For one revolution is 360 degree, right? So therefore, for one complete revolution, we want 12 steps. We want 12 steps to complete one revolution. Okay, means the 360 divided by 30 means it is equal to 12. So for 12 steps gives one complete revolution of the stepper motor. Okay, now if I is the current passing through the phase which is excited, then the torque developed by the motor which acts on the rotor is expressed as. So now if I is the current passing through the phase of the stepper motor, then the torque developed by the motor is given by the formula Tm is equal to half of I square dl by d theta. Here this is the formula for torque developed by the torque experienced by the stepper motor, where L is the inductance of the relevant phase and theta is a particular angle, rotational angle. Since the torque is proportional to current here, so torque is directly proportional to square of the current. Square of the current, that is T, is directly proportional to I square. It is independent of the direction of I, so it is independent of the current direction. Then the direction of the rotation is totally decided from the sequence in which phases are excited. So the direction of the stepper motor rotation, it is completely decided on in what switching sequence we are going to follow. If we apply ABCA, then we are going to get anti-clockwise direction. If we apply CBAC, then we are going to get clockwise direction of the stepper motor. Okay, so in the exam, if they ask anything related to with a neat sketch explain variable reluctance stepper motor, means you are supposed to explain all these points, and along with this also explain from here. From here you should start the explanation. You can write all these diagrams, explanation, these formulas, then this driving circuit, then operation. Okay, till here you are supposed to write, and you can, and after this you should also write the advantages. Now let us see the advantages of variable reluctance stepper motor. Okay, advantages of the variable reluctance stepper motor are, it is going to have high torque to inertia ratio. It has high torque to inertia ratio, and it has high rates of acceleration. It has fast dynamic response. It is simple and low cost machine, and it is having efficient cooling arrangement as well as windings are on stator, and there is no winding on the rotor. So it is having automatic cooling arrangement here, and rotor construction is robust due to the absence of brushes. So all these are the advantages of variable reluctance motor. So at last you are supposed to write the advantages of reluctance stepper motor also. Till to this you should write the explanation for variable reluctance motor. Okay, finally at last you can write the advantages, all these advantages. Now, so from the above explanation of the variable reluctance motor, some observations we can see here. What are those important observations? Let us see. From the above important observations, from the above discussion, the following important observations can be made. First one, the rotor can be moved in specific direction by exciting the stator phases in the specific sequence. So rotor can be made to rotate in particular sequence just by exciting the stator phases in specific sequence. Then second observation, when the phases are excited in the sequence A, B, C, A, the rotor moves in the anti-clockwise direction. So if we excite the stator phases in the sequence ABCA, then rotor moves in the anti-clockwise direction. Then the third observation, the phases are excited in the sequence CBAC, then the rotor moves in the clockwise direction, which can be easily verified. So if we close switch SW3, then SW2, then SW1, then once again SW3, then we are exciting the phases of the stator CBAC, and in this case we are going to get clockwise direction of the stepper motor. Okay. Then the fourth observation is the distance through which the rotor moves when all the three phases are excited once is called one rotor tooth pitch. So if we excite all the three windings and whatever the distance covered by the rotor, that we call it as one rotor tooth pitch, and it is given by the formula rotor tooth pitch is equal to 360 by NR, where NR is refers to the number of rotor poles. Next observation is step angle is denoted as alpha s and given by step angle is given by the formula 360 divided by Q into NR, where Q is the number of phases and NR is the number of rotor poles. So for the above example, we have taken Q as 3 and NR as 4. So in that case, the step angle is going to be, so for 3 phases and 4 rotor poles, the step angle alpha s is given by the formula alpha s is equal to 360, where Q is 3 in the above example and NR is 4. Then we are going to get step angle as 30 degree. This is already we have seen. Okay. This is shown in the previous section or the above section. If the number of phases are increased to 8 and the number of rotor poles to 6, then the step angle becomes. Suppose in place of Q as 3, if we take the value of the Q as 8 and number of rotor poles as 6, then alpha S or the step angle changes from 30 degree to 7.5 degrees. So all these are the observations what we have seen with the help of above explanation of variable reluctance stepper motor. So in the examination, they may ask the question related to variable reluctance stepper motor, means whatever the explanation I have explained so far, you are supposed to write all that. Okay. Have a good day.